What's up, y'all? This is Alex from the Rim Review. The Rim Review is a page that offers in-depth player analysis and gives nuance to the way you watch basketball. In this series, we're going to be looking over every single prospect in the upcoming NBA draft. Some of which you may already know, however there are going to be numerous hidden gems we explore in the next few weeks. In today's episode, we're going to look at the 6'5" forward out of Tennessee, Dalton Knecht. When looking at Dalton Knecht's game, there are a few strengths that jump off the page. The first of which is his shooting, where Knecht shot 39.4% from beyond the arc. He has a great shot, his form looks good, and he does an awesome job getting his base under him to make quick threes off movement. Secondly, he's a really solid straight line driver. He's actually a better athlete than most people would think, and his combine numbers measured very high compared to the rest of this draft class. Knecht does a really nice job having straight line athleticism, and he uses that to blow by his men. Next, he does an amazing job playing off of 2 feet. Time and time again, I saw Dalton Knecht jump off of both of his feet in order to gain his balance and absorb contact to have a nice finish over defenders. This is really beneficial because it has allowed him to become more skillful and a more talented finisher around the rim. Even though Knecht does not have the deepest bag or creativity or acrobatic finishes at the rim, his ability to play off 2 makes him a solid finisher without those skills. Finally, he's really solid at coming off of screens, and he ranked in the 96th percentile in the amount of time that he spent coming off of screens. Tennessee's offense is very based off of down screens and floppy screens, so Dalton Knecht is going to come into the NBA with tons of experience knowing how he should curl off screens, what type of reads he should make off of screens, and how to thrive in that position. I would love to see him in a system that really utilizes a lot of off-ball screens because that is where Dalton Knecht lives. There are still some pretty big weaknesses to Knecht's game on the offensive end. The first of which is I would say he's a loose handle and doesn't really playmake for others. He had a 1.02 assist to turnover ratio, which is not amazing, especially for someone who's an older player in college basketball. He's going to be in a situation right now where he's one of the oldest guys that has a lot of wisdom and experience to going to the NBA when a lot of people are much smarter, so that number has a very good chance to drop to a negative assist to turnover ratio. Next is his lack of isolation scoring. Knecht is a solid straight line driver, however when he has to make multiple moves to get open, it's something that simply doesn't happen often. Only averaging 0.78 points per possession in isolation, Knecht pretty much just relied on straight line drives and length and size to score, but he's not going to have that as much in the pros. Finally, I would say he's relatively average when it comes to attacking closeouts. Now, part of this reason is the fact that he was able to get his shot off so quickly so he didn't have to worry about blowing by guys. However, when he tried to rip through and just attack a closeout with a drive, he only shot 36% on spot-up 2s. That's a little concerning because I would like to see him rip through and have more just talented drives. When I was watching him attacking closeouts on the film, it wasn't like there was anything really bad that showed out, it's just that he didn't think to do it too often. Now, let's get into the film and watch Knecht play in transition. On this possession, Knecht is going to get an outlet pass and push and score. There are a couple of things that are why he was able to get a basket here. Firstly, Arkansas never really built a wall and no one is picking up him as a guy. This defender right here should have been who was picking up Knecht, but he didn't. This means that this guy has to jump out at Dalton, and Dalton makes an easy crossover to get by. Let's watch this at full speed, and it's a simple but effective play. On this possession, it's another opportunity for Knecht to go coast to coast. Right here, he's slowly dribbling up the court. However, this drag screen occurs. When this drag screen occurs right here, UNC is going to almost attempt to ice it or have a harder hedge right here. Knecht splits and has a great finish at the rim. On this possession, Knecht is once again going to have the ball in transition. Knecht is going to change pace, but what I hate to see here is this. Firstly, when this South Carolina defender swipes at the ball, Knecht immediately picks it up really high, which is bad. He also tries to go with the extended finish, which he struggles with. When Knecht has an early pickup point, more often than not, it leads to a negative result. Right here, Knecht once again picks the ball up way too early. There's no reason why you should be starting your Euro step at the nail, and it's a big reason why this led to a turnover. Now let's watch Dalton in a ball screen. Right here, he refuses and does an awesome job playing off two. So a refuse, for those of you who don't know, is just when you don't take this screen. And then what he's doing right here is he's operating a little bit slower because he wants this guy to commit over here. This defender never ends up committing, but it doesn't matter because Knecht is able to get his balance and have a nice 2-foot finish. Right here, it's another opportunity for Dalton Knecht to play off of two. He refuses the ball screen, gets his balance, and knocks it down. On this possession, Dalton Knecht is going to go up against a drop coverage. He calls for this ball screen at the top of the key, goes up against the drop, and once again is able to finish off two. I will point out that all of these drives have been with his right hand, and he's definitely much more of a right driver. Despite this, he can do things like this, and as we see in this possession, he's going to snake and score. I love seeing him go at Coleman Hawkins here and have a nice extended finish. On this possession, Dalton Knecht is going to struggle a little bit in the pick and roll. What I hate seeing here is he picks up the ball a little early right here, and additionally, when he goes with the extended finish, he sometimes struggles. On this possession, he first comes off a stagger screen and then is going to dribble the ball out and call for a ball screen. He tries to attack Zach Edey here, but just can't get it going. I would like to see him maybe jump stop and maybe you have a late roll right here, or a dump off, but forcing that early shot isn't always the play. On this possession against Creighton, it's going to be another ball screen for Dalton Knecht. He's going to have the screen right here, and he attacks drop coverage, but once again, he picks it up just a bit too early. If he were to stay out here, you would have a potential kick to the corner, but Knecht forces it, and it just doesn't go in. On this possession, Knecht is going to come off of a dribble handoff right here. What I love about this is as soon as the DHO occurs, Knecht has a quick release and knocks down a three. His shooting is going to be his role in the NBA, and I would love to see him as a fifth starter type player that can space the floor. Right here, he comes off a dribble handoff and dribbles into an awesome step back three. When he comes off DHOs, it doesn't always have to result in him shooting a three, as right here, it leads to a nice 2-foot finish. Now, let's watch Dalton Knecht in some off-screen actions. Right here, Dalton Knecht is going to be involved in this screening action where he has the ability to come off of both. I'd like to point out a couple of things here. Firstly, Knecht initially does a good job faking like he's going to the right and going to the left and bumping back. I think maybe with a quicker pass he could have been open here, but Knecht does an awesome job not giving up on the play and coming off of this screen for an easy three. Tennessee's offense once again runs a lot of off-screen actions, and it allows for Knecht to constantly be involved. Right here in a floppy play, Knecht does an awesome job getting a three. What I love seeing is Knecht's ability to make reads, and he initially fakes like he's going this way before changing directions. This allows number one, who's Knecht's man on Georgia. Look at this right here. He has no clue that Knecht is coming in this direction. He's staring here expecting a screen and is way too late, and it leads to an easy bucket. On this under out of bounds play, Knecht comes off a screen again and knocks it down. On this possession, it's going to be another floppy action that Knecht does an awesome job bumping back. While it doesn't go in, what I love seeing here from Knecht is he recognizes that this defender is just trying to beat him to the spot, so Knecht instead goes to this spot. This forces the defender to change his path, and it leaves Knecht open, it just doesn't fall. On this possession, it's more floppy. Knecht is going to once again get an open look that just can't fall. I will say there aren't many NBA teams that run floppy actions, so Knecht won't get it as open as he did at Tennessee. Unless you're on the Warriors, you're just not running that style of basketball. Right here, Knecht relocates to the corner and knocks down a three. These seem very simple, but it's just this smart movement that is going to allow Knecht to be an awesome piece for any NBA roster. Right here, Knecht lifts and knocks down a simple three. Against St. Peter's in March Madness, it's more the same, and Knecht's going to do a really nice job being ready. He passes it up there, but he relocates again and is ready to shoot to knock it down. It's this type of movement off the ball that makes him really talented. On this possession, it's an offensive rebound kick out, and Knecht takes advantage. Right here against NC State, this is another opportunity for Knecht to thrive. He's going to drift to the corner and have a nice three-point attempt. While it does not go in, what I love seeing from Knecht here is having the instincts to know to move this direction as the drive occurs, because you stay in Zakai Ziegler's eyesight and can get an open look. Now let's watch this possession, which is really the only attacking closeout that I really liked from Knecht. And on this possession, Knecht does an awesome job loading up his feet and just having a simple drive. It's simple but effective, and that's Dalton Knecht's game. Let's finish off with watching a little bit of Knecht in isolation. Right here, Knecht is going to size up his man, and it's really a one-on-one. Wow, awesome job. Not much of a move from Knecht here, but it's just straight line athleticism for a nice dunk. On this possession, once again, Knecht is going to be able to thrive going against Auburn. He's going to come off of a screen here, and then his team is going to clear the side. As you notice, there's basically a line you can draw up the court, and no one's there to help. And Knecht, once again, I'd like to point out, is able to finish off of 2 feet, and playing off of 2 allows him to score. There are still some issues for Knecht in isolation, and we'll see some on this possession right here. He gets a switch onto Caden Shedrick right here, which is a mismatch he should be able to attack. Unfortunately, there's no real athleticism here, and Knecht isn't able to have much of a bag to get by his man. On this possession, Knecht is once again unable to get by with simply a straight line drive. He picks the ball up way too early here, as his pickup point is right here, and then he forces up an awkward floater. I'd like to see Knecht get a couple moves in his bag so he can be more creative and effective as a scorer outside of straight line drives. On this possession, Knecht is once again trying to dribble with a straight line drive, but he instead dribbles right into the help side and loses the basketball. Now that we've talked about Dalton Knecht offensively, let's move on to him as a defender. When looking at his defensive strengths, a couple of things pop out. The first of which is I would say he has relatively good length with a strong frame. I like his frame because it allows him to absorb contact, and it makes him show flashes of having nice long arms to get some blocks that he really shouldn't get otherwise. Secondly, he had some really great measurements at the combine. Knecht definitely has athleticism, but what he needs to learn now is how to translate that athletic ability to the basketball court. What I mean by that is outside of straight line drives and maybe just jumping up for some cool dunks now and then, Knecht doesn't do much quickness wise. If he can use that combine speed and have NBA level coaching help him improve, it could allow him to be a really solid defender. Finally, there are flashes where I see a possession and I'm like, okay, that's someone that's not going to be targeted defensively. And I know all of these strengths are really not strengths, but more just pieces of being an okay defender. If Knecht is able to be okay on the defensive end, he all of a sudden becomes a much better player. What most scouts and what most articles about Knecht are saying is that he's going to be targeted on the defensive end, and at college he definitely was. However, I don't think that that is something that necessarily has to stay the same if Knecht is willing to put in the work and he can improve to be an okay defensive piece. There are still some pretty big weaknesses to Knecht's game defensively. The first of which is his off-ball defense. Knecht will very frequently lose his man off ball, whether that's because he's caught ball watching or not fully locked in to guarding his man. It allows him to get beat, and a lot of times it leads to relocation attempts. Secondly, Knecht's footwork is not great, and oftentimes he will end up playing on his heels defensively. What I mean by that is instead of impacting the play on the defensive end, he will be backpedaling, and then it allows the guard to stop, and Knecht will continue to slide, and it leads to a wide open shot. Next, his screen navigation is not great, whether it's in the pick and roll or off-ball screening actions. Knecht really struggles to fight through screens. And finally, Dalton Knecht is not great in closeouts. Once again, his footwork isn't great, he doesn't really chop his feet, and he leaves a lot to be desired in closeout situations. Now let's get into the film and watch Knecht on the defensive end. On this possession, Knecht's man has the ball and Knecht is meeting him up high. He then doesn't switch on this pick and roll, but the main issue I hate here is once this help goes away, this initial step from Knecht. When you look at this crossover, Knecht is already jumping out over here, which showcases bad footwork, and it gives up an easy drive. On this possession, Dalton Knecht once again struggles in a driving line situation. Knecht does get clipped by this screen, but he's able to get back and match up with his man. However, when his man stops, Knecht is the defender, continues to stumble, and it leads to an open mid-range. On this possession, it's more of the same bad defense from Dalton Knecht. Right here, he's guarding his man off the ball and is competing. However, his man rips through and Knecht immediately gives up a pathway. Knecht is then at this point playing beside his man, and he's very much a reactionary defender who doesn't change much. On this possession, a double drag action occurs and Knecht switches on to the ball. Knecht tries to compete, but has bad talk in the driving line. The first issue here is when this screen occurs, even though Zach Edey doesn't make contact, it very clearly bothers Knecht as he opens up. Knecht needs to get into the ball and compete a little more. Secondly, I'd like to see Knecht talk, because he should easily be able to peel switch here and pick up number 2 on Purdue. Instead, he doesn't peel switch, and it leads to an open attempt. On this possession, Knecht actually does a really nice job in the driving line. While he's beat initially, he fights and gets back into the play and remains vertical defensively. On this play, it's another flash of Dalton Knecht not being awful and actually being quite good in a driving line situation. Knecht handles the change of pace, and even though he's beat by a half a step right here, Knecht's length allows him to get a block. On this possession, it's another example of Knecht being a decent driving line defender. While I don't think that this will be always the case for him, these flashes get me excited. Once again, even though he might lose a half a step initially to Mark Sears, he competes and gets back into the play and has a nice contest. Now let's watch Dalton Knecht in a pick and roll action. Right here, Knecht is going to be guarding the ball as this screen occurs. However, he's not impacting it, he cheats in this direction, and it gives up an easy layup after a refuse. He's lucky the help side was there, but you can't give up a refuse the way he did right here. On this possession, Dalton Knecht is going to be involved in another ball screen. However, he's clipped and taken out of the play. I'd like to see him have a better job of fighting over these screens and impacting the plays. Right here, Knecht is once again going to be involved in a screen. He's clipped, and look how much Zach Edey getting with him with his hip forces Knecht to change direction, and it leads to a wide open layup. Right here on this play, it's more the same. Knecht is clipped, taken out of the play, and it leads to an easy shot. On this possession, Dalton Knecht actually is able to use his length to impact the play. Right here, a dribble handoff action is going to occur. Knecht goes under the screen, but with his long arms, he's able to still get a block and save the play. On this possession, it's another instance of that, where Knecht's long arms help him a lot defensively. Knecht's guarding the ball right here, and then is able to impact the play without being fully up on his man. Now, let's look at Dalton Knecht as an off-ball defender. Right here, Knecht is not paying attention at all, and while I understand that he's looking at this Mark Sears drive, you always have to be looking at your man and the ball. And even though Knecht is looking at Mark Sears, he's not really impacting anything right here. He then comes out and has a weak closeout and gets lucky that the miss occurred. On this possession, Dalton Knecht once again is struggling to stay attached to his man in an off-ball situation. Right here, Knecht is eventually calling out the rim because they're in transition. What I mean by that is that it's Knecht's job initially to get the rim to make sure that no one is able to come into this area. However, now that the defense is set, it's his job to come back to his man and pick him up. Unfortunately, he allows his man to lift and get a wide open jumper, and he's lucky that he missed. On this possession, Dalton Knecht once again struggles to move off the ball. Right here, he's predetermining that he's going to fire right here, which is when you send 2 on the post. However, you shouldn't double the post if the ball is not in the post. This allows for an easy swing and a Reed Sheppard 3 for Kentucky. On this possession, we're going to see a little bit more weak off-ball defense from Dalton Knecht. Right here, he gets clipped by an off-ball screen and then isn't paying attention, and it leads to an easy 3-pointer. Right here, we're going to see Knecht be involved in a closeout action. As this drive occurs, Knecht comes in, however, he gets completely ripped through on the closeout. Luckily, the help side defense saved him. On this final clip, Knecht showcases his length in flashes of what he can do in a closeout spot. Right here, Knecht is going to close out, initially get beat, but he uses his long arms to get a block and recover after getting driven on. Overall, Dalton Knecht is a very intriguing prospect. At 23 years old, with a nice frame and a great jump shot, a lot of scouts believe that he's going to be able to come in and be an instant contributor day one. And I agree with those scouts. I like the comp for Dalton Knecht being a Max Strus style player that is going to be a 5th option offensively and be a nice piece that you can give minutes to on a contributing and competing team. I am a little worried about his lack of defense. However, his good measurements at the combine makes me feel more confident in his ability to succeed. When looking at what Dalton Knecht's career could be like, I think that his most likely outcome is that Max Strus archetype. I think that it's very possible for him to have a very long career doing that, and that's a lot of money in that type of role. I think his ceiling could be maybe a level where he's able to create for himself a bit more, and instead of just being a 5th option offensively, maybe he develops into a 3rd option. And then if he's able to also add some defense on top of that, we're talking about a fringe all-star. But I really don't see him hitting that level, and I think it's much more likely he just is a solid role player and a role-playing starter on a contributing and competing team. I think his floor would be if his defense just isn't good enough to keep him on the floor. At shooting at 40%, your offense can keep you on the floor almost at all times, but if you move down to shooting closer to like 36 or 37% and you continue to have bad defense, it can make it hard for teams to give you minutes. And at that world, I think Dalton Knecht's floor could be one where he's a 9th man for 3 or 4 years before being washed out of the NBA. As far as where I would draft him, I really like his more likely comp of being a Max Strus style player, and in this lesser draft class, I think it's completely fine to pick him in the late end of the lottery, anywhere between 10 and 15. Overall, that's my take, and thanks for watching another episode of The Rim Review.